This is an entertaining / informative video of video games that was inspired by James Rolfe, aka the Angry Video Game Nerd. Some of the nerd's catchphrases are used in this video as an entertaining way of portraying information. Thank you, and enjoy. If it's video game related and there's a reason to hate it, then I'll tell you why verbatim exactly what I think about them. I am the bluntly honest gaming nerd. Now what does that mean? That means I'm going to give you the truth, the whole truth, the research truth, the dirty truth, and every other bit of truth that I can find delivered unto you, a well-informed yet very direct and entertaining piece of information. Today, I'm going to talk about a little angel that recently reappeared to brawl. No, it's not Ike. It's Pit from Kid Icarus. Now, I'd like to start out by mentioning that in Brawl, they left out one of the games that Pit was in on his trophy. Yes, he was in Kid Icarus, but he was in another game. This game was called Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters, and was for the Game Boy. They even listed in the Chronicles, so they obviously didn't miss it. I guess they just screwed that one up. I have to mention one other thing, and this to me was complete and utter bull. This game was originally released in Japan for a system called the Famicom Disk System. This was a peripheral system that attached to the bottom of the Famicom, which was Japan's NES. It was supposed to come to the US, but it never made it, since it was way too easy to pirate the games off of the disc or make unlicensed games for it. Anyway, some of the games on the Famicom disk had backup battery support. Among these titles were The Legend of Zelda and the game of the hour, Kid Icarus. Yes, it originally had save capabilities, just like Zelda. But what happened when Kid Icarus came to the US? It got its save capabilities taken away to be replaced with a long password system. Why did they do that? What were they thinking? Zelda got to keep their save system. Why didn't Kid Icarus? To me, being able to save my progress is more effective and efficient than having to write down a long password and then put it in later. What a shitload of fuck. This game was released back in July of 1987 and was recently re-released for the Wii Virtual Console in February of 2007, nearly 2 decades later. Controls are fairly straightforward. A jumps, B fires, and the control pad moves you. You collect hearts as currency, although you'd expect them to be live. Hey, I'm over here! Nope, I'm over here now! These enemies are stupid. Let's kill them. But trouble can and will occur. There are times when you are swarmed with enemies. Damn it! No! Fuck! That's another thing about this game that pisses me off. You fall once and that's it. You're done for. There's supposed to be all this level underneath it, and all of a sudden it's disappeared. God damn it! Fuck! Next thing I'm gonna bitch about is the dungeons, or every 4th stage. Now first off, they changed your entire screen layout, and I think that's, bullshit. The next thing I'm gonna bitch about is the map. Before, after. The last thing are the eggplant wizards. They hit you with their eggplant magic, and guess what? You're an eggplant with feet. All you can do is run around like a chicken with its head cut off, or you can die trying. Fuck! I'm not saying that Kid Icarus was a horrible game. It's just a hard game that's made even harder by the lack of certain things, such as save files or a proper map. This, though, leads me to my next game, and it is one that I mentioned earlier. It is Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. Released in May of 1992, it was the second game in the series. This game was released during the time when Nintendo was still trying to port their famous NES games onto their new Game Boy handheld to get the Game Boy to sell. And anybody who knew about the Kid were instantly sold. Because everything that sucked about Kid Icarus was fixed in Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. It's Kid Icarus. What more can I say? Now the game does have a continue option, but I'll show you that later. Let's start a new game. Okay, this should be fun. What? No, I've been saved! No more vertical screen of death! Next I'd like to talk about the pause. Pause 1. Pause 2. Why couldn't they have just gone to this screen in the first place? Oh well, I'm just nitpicking now. This time around, Pit's wings aren't just for show. If you rapidly tap the A button, you can flap them to slowly float down. It's really useful and even necessary at times. Okay, I've covered the vertical pit of death. I've covered the wings. What else was fixed that I bitched about? This time, the continue doesn't take you to a password screen. It takes you directly to where you last saved, and you can save at the end of any stage. Also, if you notice, the screen layout for the dungeon has been returned to normal, so there's no differences between normal gameplay and the dungeon gameplay. You can find various items in the statues, including parts of the map and power-ups. The map is more complete this time around. The paper actually gives you the map's general layout instead of just a big piece of paper like in the NES version. Also, the map this time around is much more readable, and almost reminds me of the days of The Legend of Zelda, except this map doesn't tell you which rooms are connected together. Another thing that I'd like to mention that I don't have the footage for is that when you die, you lose a life. Yes, this time around you actually have lives! You have a total of 3 lives that you can use up before you get a game over and you're kicked back to the title screen, which means you'd have to just start again from where you last saved. If you liked Kid Icarus, you'd love Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters for the Game Boy. You may think this is the end of Pit, but in reality it may not be. Yes, the kid is in Brawl, but I've been hearing things. Weird things. Unusual things. Things that make you think. Think long and hard. Currently, through rumors, leaks, and speculations, Pit is to make a comeback at the hands of Factor 5. Currently, Factor 5 and Nintendo will neither confirm nor deny its existence, but it may be possible. I just hope they don't make Pit an emotional wreck who must search for salvation. Personally, I like him better when he's saving the world. Thank you for wasting almost 10 minutes of your life. I hope you had as much fun watching this as I did making this. Thank you, and have a nice day.